Throughout chess history, some games have stood out. Some of these games improve upon chess theory, some are just brilliant to see, and some just carry a lot of drama in them. But in this series called Games to Know by Heart, we are going to look at some of these games. And the first game we are going to look at is the very famous Opera House game, which was played by Paul Morphy in 1858, I think, against Duke Karl and Count Isoard. Apparently the Duke invited Paul Morphy to this opera just so they could play a game of chess, and he played with the Count Isoard. And it was said that during this game, Paul Morphy kept trying to look back to see the opera while the game was going on, which is pretty funny in my opinion. So without further ado, let's get straight into the game. If you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me a lot. So let's check this game out. So the game here begins with Paul Morphy playing as white and the Duke as black. We have e4, e5, knight to f3, d6, the Philidor's defense, d4, striking in the center, and then bishop to g4. This was the theory at the time, but currently this doesn't really work. For example, if takes, queen takes, and after king takes, you have knight here, and you're already having a very bad position as black. But regardless, this was the theory at the time, and we had pawn takes, and the Duke decides he doesn't want to go to that line. That I'm not sure if he knew it at that point in time, but he decides to go for bishop takes, queen takes, pawn takes, and here Morphy develops with tempo, or he develops with a threat, which is something you should learn about doing in chess, because it forces your opponent's reactions. He plays bishop to c4, threatening scholar's mate. The Duke replies with knight to f6 and now queen to b3, creating two threats and even sacrificing this pawn. So he creates this threat and this threat as well. You can take the knight, the pawn, but that is just to your own detriment. The Duke responds with queen to e7. That's basically the only way you can defend, because this is the most scary attack you have to defend. And Paul Morphy here plays knight to c3. Most people would have expected that he would just take here and win a piece. For example, like takes here, check, queen takes, I think was the line. And this is basically completely winning for white. He just completely fine here. There's not really much he could do, his opponent could do to sort of go against this line. But that is not exactly what Paul Morphy did. He decided to go for knight to c3 here, c6, bishop to g5, and then b5. This is basically the biggest mistake of the game. Now, here you should think about how to, for example, get your position a little bit opened up, activating your pieces. I mean, you are in a very, very cramped up position as black. So the first idea in your mind should be, how can I activate my pieces or trade off some pieces? So for example, you could think about h3, trying to force a trade, knight here, trying to develop your pieces. But to go on the offensive here, when you are the one under pressure, is usually not the right approach. And Paul Morphy finds the most beautiful continuation to this. He plays knight takes, pawn takes b5, and then bishop takes b5, sacrificing the knight for the activity. Now there's no easy way to defend this, because you are literally pinned here. There's no good move to find. Bringing your king here just runs into a check by castling, so it's not so easy to defend. And here he plays knight b to d7. Morphy castles here, adding another piece to the attack, which is something good to do. PP on the PP, if you've not heard it before. Put pressure on the pin piece. It's a very well-known theme. And now we have rook to d8, adding a defender to the position. But Morphy strikes. He plays rook takes check, forking the queen and the rook. Of course, the knight can't take because the knight is pinned. He plays rook takes d7, and now Morphy brings in the other rook. And this is still a very good position. You might think that Morphy just ran out of pieces, but this is a very dominant position. Black literally has nothing to do. So after rook to d1, the count plays queen to e6, and the point is, if I can trade off queens, then my position is not so bad. But this just allows Morphy to play a very beautiful sequence. Bishop takes d7 check, Knight takes d7 since it's no longer pinned. And now the most beautiful move you might ever see, queen to b8 check. And there's literally nothing you can do. The king can't run out because the bishop blocks all the squares. The queen can't block. There's nothing, there's no defensive maneuver that you can find over here. So the only move is to simply accept the sacrifice and then rook to d8 checkmate. So if any of you are new to chess, you realize that you've learned what we call the opera house mate, and this is the origin for that checkmate. And the most beautiful thing about this whole position is that your opponent here has these number of pieces on the board and you just have this. He has 4 pieces, you just have 2, and you are still the one who won the game. It's a very beautiful game. I think you could even consider it an immortal because he sacrificed so many pieces. And this game in particular was a lesson on the importance of developing your pieces rather than being materialistic and just going straight for attacking. So you saw them the way in which Morphy focused more on development. All his moves forced a reaction from his opponent, not the reaction he sort of wanted, puts his pieces in the right squares and goes for the right ideas. His opponent here did not see the importance of developing his pieces, getting his king safe, and decided to go for an attack. He was being a little bit materialistic here, but he ended up messing up his own position. And this is the reason why most of your chess coaches will be telling you to focus on development. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. We will be continuing the series with many historical games, many important games that were played. So of course you will see Bobby Fischer's Game 6 on this channel at a point in time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.